Happy Monday. Welcome to Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. It's a very special day today. Every day is a special day, especially when you get to wake up. I am wearing my pink because I want to uh, bring awareness to Breast Cancer Awareness Month, October. And so everyone should have a little pink on because we're still trying to find cures, ways to cure the big C. And just want to send some kudos out to those people that have fought the good fight and won the good fight. Um, and to send out our condolences to those family members who have had members that were succumbed by the dreaded disease. Today, I had to come on. See, I pre recorded today's show. Okay. So I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. This will play on Friday of this week. Okay. This will also play next Monday, which is the week where we will begin to have um, early voting in Kentucky. All right. My nose itching. Early voting in Kentucky. And we are ready to vote for Colonel Pam Stevenson. If you didn't know, now you know. We start early voting on the first, I think that's the Wednesday, the day after Thanksgiving, Halloween. Wednesday the 1st, Thursday the 2nd, Friday the 3rd, and Saturday, the only Saturday you have to vote early. You don't need a reason. You can go to 10 different polling places. Just Google it and find out where you can go. Starting Wednesday of next week. So this same show will play on Monday night next week and next Friday as well. And that would be the 3rd of November. Can you believe that already? Election day is on the 7th, Tuesday, the first Tuesday in November, November 7th. And we need to vote for Colonel Pam Stevenson. If you've never met her, I thought it was very important for my audience to get a close and upfront look at our next Attorney General, because she needs to be our Attorney General, because she will fight for everyone. She won't be picking and choosing, and she won't be mincing her words. You know, when she goes to battle armed, fully loaded. You know, they say locked and ready to go. So I'm going to bring on, I'm going to take myself out of this picture and present to some and introduce to others Colonel Pam Stevenson, candidate for Attorney General of Kentucky. Let's just say, let's put it in the ether, the next Attorney General for the state of Kentucky, the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Okay, let me put this up here. Happy Monday. Okay. Welcome to Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. I am your host, Janice Carter Miller. And thank you for joining us today. Today's a really special day because I've got the hottest ticket in Kentucky as my guest for today. I thought I was an Energizer bunny until I met my guest today. So I sit back, I'll take a back seat because girlfriend has got it going on in more ways than one. But before we get to our guest for the day, I just want to throw some kudos out today for things that are going on in our community. Real excited about the new company that's going to be coming to West Louisville in the Park Hill area, the Pretzel Company. And for those of you who don't know, they have 350 jobs. You hear me? That pay $30 an hour. $30 an hour. So moms, if you've got kids that are still sitting on your couch since they graduated from high school and don't have a job or didn't want to go to college, get them ready. I think they're going to have a job fair soon to sign up. I think it's in December. So everybody get ready, because these jobs, people are going to compete for these jobs, and they are going to be in the West, where you can get to work easily. You may have to only catch one bus if you don't have transportation, or you can carpool. Imagine that. Carpooling may come back into style. You don't have to get a Lyft or an Uber. Carpool, because somebody lives right around the corner from you that may need a ride to work. Just keep that in mind. We need to start doing things to help each other. We want to change some things in our community, but we have to play a part. We have to be helpful. We have to, be available, make ourselves available. We are our brother's keepers, whether we want to think so or not. And on that note about being your brother's keeper, before I go there, I want to say kudos to President Joe Biden. He's got big kahunas. It's touching to see him be so presidential. He has no fear. He's got a moral core. He's got the spirit of who Americans are really in his spirit. That's who he is. That Scranton, Pennsylvania guy. He'll get on that plane and go stand up for what he believes in. And, a lot of things aren't, people's moral fiber in the political world has gotten a little tainted. But let me show you what I mean by that. When somebody puts you in check, and it's really all about your moral fiber. Take a look. Hold on.
You're a military veteran. I fought so that all people could have freedoms, not just the ones I liked. As an ordained minister, we preach, we teach all the time that God's decisions are perfect, and that we're to go out and do what he asked us to do. Take care of the least of these, love above all, do the work for the people that need it. And now we're saying he's imperfect because we got to fix it. We've got to insert our opinion on top of God's design. Don't tell me it's about irreparable harm, because you're not doing anything for the children that are hungry. You're not doing anything for the children that are in foster care being abused. You're not doing what needs to be done for the little black kids that are experiencing racism every day. It is not for irreparable harm. It's because they are not like you. It goes for the juggler to kill, annihilate, and make sure that a whole group of people, who by the way is a small percentage, have no rights. Now here's the good news. Go ahead and vote the way you like to vote, but if you don't stand for them, I promise you, they'll come for you. We have no right to interfere in the parental rights. If you were really, really concerned about children, I could give you 100 other things you could do to make sure that every kid in Kentucky thrives. Let's try getting the kids off the street that are homeless and sleeping with snow as a blanket. I was born at night, but not last night. This is not about what you say it is. And if you want to be honest, just get ready for the invasion in your life. Because as I recall, a couple of months ago, you were saying the government can't tell me to wear a cloth mask to prevent a global pandemic. And now you're saying the government can tell a mother and a father what to do with their kid, and they don't have any right to opt out. Stop it.
What? Hallelujah. Woo! You know I'm going to play that again, don't you? I'm going to play it again. But before I play it again, please welcome my guest for the day, my girlfriend running for Attorney General of Kentucky, Colonel Pam Stevenson.
Hey. I am so happy to be here with you. Oh my gosh, you did catch me by surprise.
Huh? You didn't know I was going to let you preach a little bit before you came on, huh? Oh, I saw that, and I was standing up, and my husband and I roared. I said, check her out. Check the girl out. My husband heard you speak at the Bishop's table. But first, I want to say welcome to Guess Who's Coming to Dinner.
I am so happy to be here.
You got a chance to sit down for a minute, huh?
That's it.
Tell me, what's going on, Colonel Pam?
Oh, man, what's not going on?
Okay.
We've got democracy to save.
Yes.
We're not talking about another election. We're talking about if 100 years from now, we want our children, our grandchildren, and our great-grandchildren to live in the land of the free because of the brave, we must act now. There is no delusion about what they say they're going to do and how they're going to do it. So we are working, and I love working with people that are doing the work like you.
Well, thank you. I just am, being a child of the civil rights, I feel like it's my duty to make sure that your constituents know who you are, know what you stand for, and know that you ain't scared to fight. Because I see no fear in you whatsoever, because you got the Lord on your side, number one, but it's your energy, your perseverance, your honesty. It all comes across. Every time you talk, you touch me. And I have to thank my girlfriend, Carrie Jones, who, when you were running for your representative seat, first told me, she says, well, I'm helping. I have a girlfriend. She's running for office. She was telling me who you were. She said, well, you just get behind her. Just find out who she is. And so you've been on Guess Who's Coming to Dinner before.
Yes.
And I said to myself, I need to make sure that I get you on. And I think I got in just under the wire. Because Miss Beth told me, she said, honey, if you don't pre-record this show, you won't get her. So here we are. And I thank you so much for making time.
Well, it is absolutely my pleasure. When I was with the team, I told the team, I want to do that show. I want to do that one. Usually they tell me what to do. They think they're the boss of me. And I said, this is the show I want to do. So make it work. And they did. So I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm happy too. Okay, so Election Day, November 7th. What are some of the things that we can do to help you as far as getting out the word to vote?
Thank you so much. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Pam Stevenson, and I was born and raised in Louisville, Kentucky. My grandmother had 15 children, and we are part of the French family. I've been married for 41 years. I have two, I call them babies, but they're adults. And we have been in Kentucky for generations. Now they call me Colonel Pam because I served 27 years in the United States Air Force.
Okay.
I retired as a colonel, and I'm an ordained minister at the church my grandfather started 75 years ago. The reason
What's the name of that church?
Old World Missionary Baptist Church, where Alice French Johnson is the pastor.
Oh, okay.
The extraordinary pastor.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. And the reason, when I was in the military, I took on the toughest jobs. I mean, I went to Africa after the war zone to restore peace with the State Department. I took care of military families to make sure they would thrive. Was chief prosecutor. I was the chief defense attorney. I went to the United Nations to help them with the refugee crisis, and worked with the 9/11 Commission and deployed to the Middle East. So I have worked internationally, nationally, and statewide when it comes to 40 years of legal experience. I am more qualified than the guy who had the job. He had 8 years when the current occupant had 8 years of legal experience, and the guy that wants the job has 19. I have 40. And the experience is not just in one state, it is globally. So that's who I am. And I'm a quilter. Won second place in the Kentucky State Fair this year.
Who was second? Wow.
It relaxes me. And I'm the current state rep for District 43.
Okay.
So this is why this election is important. We often say this is the election of a lifetime. And what we mean this time is it is. Democracy is at stake. If you look at what's happening, they are marching through the Constitution and taking rights back that we've had for years. A woman no longer has the right to her health care concerns over her body. They are saying we cannot teach Black history in schools. They are taking away, in some states, the right to vote in different ways, reducing the polling places, making sure that the places where poor people are don't have the number that they need. In Georgia, for example, if the lines are 6 to 7 hours long, and if you give someone in line water, they made it a criminal act.
Right.
Now, the question you have to ask yourself is this: why would they be doing this if the vote didn't matter?
Right.
It's because when we vote, we win. When we are engaged in democracy, then the promise of America is available for anyone that would like to have it. So we have some work to do, because if you have any hope that this democracy is going to last, you must engage. And what I've been telling people is Kentucky has an election year off year. Everybody wants to hop to 2024, the presidential year, but we've got to be strategic. You need an attorney general that's going to fight for you in Kentucky. That election is this year in 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Wow.
On the 7th of November. Here in Kentucky.
It's here. It's time.
So what I'm asking people to do is, we in Kentucky have early voting. Starts on the 2nd of November, the 3rd of November, the 4th of November, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then you have your final day on the 7th. What would it be like if we all rushed to the polls and voted on the 2nd of November? We would know early in the evening who was going to be the next governor and the next president. We don't want life to get in the way. So vote early. Vote on the 2nd of November. Vote on the 3rd of November. But vote early and get everybody in your phone, your cell phone. Everybody's got one of these. Call, text everyone that you are associated with. Send them the same text. When are you voting? Democracy is at stake. Be able to look at your children in the eye and say, I did all I could to preserve the promise of America. And it starts with getting Andy Beshear back in as governor so he can continue the good work he's done for this economy in the worst circumstances. Who knew you could grow an economy when you are in the middle of a global pandemic and your state has 5 weather emergencies where people have lost their life, their property, and their homes? And yet, he maintained the ability to bring big corporations into Kentucky so Kentucky families can thrive. We've got to continue that. I'm on the campaign trail with him, and he often says, if you've got 6 Super Bowl rings, why would you change the coach? You wouldn't. You wouldn't change the coach or the quarterback. Kentucky, when we vote, we win. You must vote and get everybody to vote. Make it too hard for them to do anything like cheat, because the numbers are so big.
Right.
And if you want to help me, and I appreciate any help, it's Colonel Pam for AG, FOR, pam4ag.com. Right now, we're in the last 3 weeks. What I need is money to run a commercial. I've got a commercial. It needs to be on the air. We need to run it so that everybody can get this message of hope. Then secondly, if you got time to call people, text people, go to the website. We will sign you up for whatever time you're available. Get engaged now. This is our tent. We were built for this.
Wow. Let me pull up this one piece that I have. Put this on the screen. Okay. All right. We want to say that's one of your posters.
Yes. Yes. That
And
is,
and you said the website is pam4ag.org.
.com.
.com.
Mhm.
And I asked you that because I so did type .org. Pam for AG. Okay. See, I need to get all this on here. AG.com. Right?
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is save that, and then I'm going to do a ticker tape.
That's it. Ticker parade. I like it.
Hey, all right. Let's get back to take this out for a second. Okay. So like you were saying, Beth had mentioned to me about the early voting, that if we don't really use it, that they're going to try to take it away.
Yeah. On the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of November, anybody that wants to vote can vote. You don't need an excuse to vote early. Just go vote. They all have like 5 or 6 different places where you can go. Pick the one you like. Go vote. Take somebody with you. Go vote. Democracy is at stake. And once we get through this election and we get the right people in the right jobs, then we can start doing the work so every person can thrive. A lot of what we did in the legislature this past year had nothing to do with families thriving.
No.
So we have to turn this around, and no one can do it by themselves. Not Andy Bashir, not Pam Stevenson.
Let me ask you this, Pam. You say, you're an ordained minister, and we know that the evangelist. I've been trying to figure out, how do you say that you are a child of God, or you are an evangelist, and your moral center has tilted. I sure hate saying to the left, but it's tilted far, far, far right.
Zigzag, yeah.
Whereas evil is now good, wrong is now right, a lie is now the truth, and they stand behind this. How did that aspect of our humanity, who we are in the United States, the citizens of the United States, our democracy, how did that get shifted to such an extreme that they really want to stand on that, being part of a group that's supposed to be part of clergy, where it says love one another? I'm just confused by that.
Yeah. And I would look at it like, I just preached in, I believe, Lexington last week on this subject, where Jesus came and he said, I'm going to give you, it was during the Passover, and he says, I'm going to give you an 11th commandment. Love your neighbor as yourself. And that way I know you love me.
Right.
And he proceeded to wash the feet of the disciples. He knew Judas was going to betray him, and he knew Peter was going to deny him 3 times, and yet he loved them anyway.
Anyway. It's unfathomable. But so now this is a question that I had. I know that gentleman down in Florida, he fixed things so that if he didn't become president, he could keep his governorship. Did this young fella over there, Cameron, did he do something the same way?
No, because the governor's race is is at the same time as the AG's race. So you have to give up one seat to do the other. The only reason I can remain a state rep is because that race is in a different year.
Oh.
So if the races are in the same year, you've got to pick one. You can't do both.
Okay, good. I didn't know how that worked.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you cleared that up. So where are some of the places maybe coming up where you're going to be, that we can come out and hear you? We can come to a rally with Colonel Pam.
Well, the best thing to do is to check on pamforag.com or the Facebook page, because we're able to keep that up fairly quickly as we go through.
And what's your Facebook page?
Mm-hmm.
The same, Pam for AJG? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
On Facebook as well. Wonderful.
Yeah, and then we put postings up there. But here's what I need for each of your listeners to purpose in their mind. They have to say to themselves that not on my watch will democracy be destroyed.
No.
You know, every year we take an oath to the Constitution to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And the military people never thought it would be domestic.
Right, right.
And so now that we know what it is, we have had thousands of military men and women die for the promise of America, for the Constitution. And we've got to stand fast right now and say, not on my watch. Not on my watch. I was built for a time such as this. If what you can do is vote and get all your family to vote, do that. Do what you can where you are with what you got. But you got to be uncomfortable. If it's just business as usual, we're going to lose this democracy. Now, next year's going to be an even busier year. But let's start here. Because what you want is, one of the things I want to do when I get to the AG's office is everybody wants to live in a safe neighborhood.
Right.
So we have to make sure that we choose the right police officers that get a salary and that they have the training and everything they need to become the police officers of 2023 and not of 1893. Number two, we got to take care of the most vulnerable, the elderly. It's
right.
$1 billion business of fraud against the elderly.
Yes.
Instead of, we need to be making the rest of their life the best of their life. Children that are being molested, the homelessness, they don't have any political clout. So their needs, especially the differently able, don't necessarily get addressed. And then finally, we got to give people treatment that need it.
Yeah.
You need someone that's going to return that office back to the people and be the people's lawyer and the top law enforcement official. That would be me. Okay. My whole life has been public service and taking care of people and making sure that our children are protected and loved.
And that's what you know how to do.
Yeah.
I know that's what you know how to do. Let me bring up this one little point. It's always been a stickler for me since I moved back to Kentucky.
Okay.
It's one of those policy issues that we have a state policy that says if a young man does not pay his child support, then he is charged with a felony. To me, that makes them instant drug dealers. And that's one of the reasons I foresee one of the underlying problems, because it's very seldom brought up. I didn't know that it was a felony until I saw it happen to one of my nephews. That, he got a job and he was working and the baby's mama get mad and have him locked up because he's trying to work and make the money. And then he loses his job. Then he can't find a job because he's got a record.
Yeah.
So is there some way, I know that has to go, that's state business, right?
Right. Now, part of it is they just recently changed the child support enforcement to the AG's office.
Yes.
And part of that, since I know how the legislature works, I can work with them to come up with something that actually works and not a knee-jerk reaction.
Okay.
sometimes we don't know the impact of these laws until it happens.
Right.
And then we don't go back and fix it.
Right.
But certainly if you're sitting in jail, you can't have a job and pay child support. So we've got to look at the whole system. And again, I'll take counsel from people that are dealing with this. But we've got to build something that's the short term and the long term. What do we do right now to make sure these children are taken care of? And then what do we do for the long term to stay out of this situation?
Right.
We've got to be able to do both.
Okay. So I raised my hand because I want to be on that committee. You know, when you take office and you set that up and you look at the policies and the things that you have some control over, please let me be a part of that, because I've got some ideas.
Okay. And that's the thing. That's how we get people engaged in this democracy, is by listening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listening. And everybody knows you can't do everything. But I also know that people understand that if they are heard and they understand your reasoning for what's chosen and it's working, they're okay. They don't like being told no, but they see the greater good, that it's working for the greater good. Beth put in the chat that the governor is going on a tour the last 10 days of the month.
Okay.
And he will have that will be publicized. So we will be going to different stops, talking to different people, and with the governor. That's another opportunity.
All over the state of Kentucky.
All over the state.
Okay. Well, Colonel Pam, I just want to say I'm on your team.
Thank you.
I'm on Colonel Pam Stevenson's team because I believe you are the best hope to help us save our democracy, and especially for bringing about an awareness of how important it is in the state of Kentucky.
Yeah, that's what I say to people in other states. You know, with the 27 years of military experience, I have friends everywhere in many states.
Right.
And they don't have answers to these issues that are plaguing us. We just have to be brave enough to put our heart in front of us and say, we will take care of families and children and make sure that everybody thrives and expresses their life. And I tell them all the time, Kentucky's going to show y'all how to take care of families. And then we might tell you how to do it, or we might sell it to you.
Oh, hush up, girl. Hush up. You know, I can't wait to see you do what you know how to do. And you know, it's like I tell some of the younger women that come up, when you know that you know that you know what you know, then you build on that, you stand on that. You know, this is not something new to you.
No.
You know, the title might be new, but the work is not new.
The work is not.
The work is not new.
When I retired in 2011, the general officers get on the stage, they talk about your career, and they said, there were two, they said the general officers would get in the room and say, send Mikey. They called me Mikey.
Get out of here.
You could send her to a place where she doesn't speak the language, the place
Mikey can handle anything,
and she will get a result.
Yeah.
So I've got the experience, and I want to use it for the good of Kentucky. Kentucky is worth fighting for, and Kentucky deserves the best.
Absolutely. I wish you the best,
Thank you.
and I will be voting for you. And that's what I said on this show. I said it. And I throw my hat behind Colonel Pam.
Thank you.
And my vote and my support. And all of my followers, you know, people that like to hit them little like buttons, go to pamforag.com. That's where we need you to go now, so that we can make sure that she gets this election tied up with a beautiful bow, because she's a beautiful bow.
And I appreciate that. This is our opportunity as a community, because I'm only one. I'm across the United States this year. I'm the only Black woman running, and I will be the first Black female Attorney General for the state of Kentucky.
State of Kentucky, ever.
And why that's important is so we can have 20. You got to have the first.
Yes.
And so we need to come together as a community, as Louisvillians, as Kentuckians, and stand for the best. If one more person tells me you're the most qualified candidate ever, and then they come up with some excuse for not telling my story, I'm going to say, you know what? That doesn't mean anything to me to be the most qualified if you can't say I'm going to vote for you.
Right.
You need to say you got my vote, and then I can listen.
Yeah, you got my vote, honey. You got my whole household's vote.
Thank you.
Let's put it like that. You
I
even had
appreciate
guess
it.
who's coming to dinner's vote, and it's a entity. It can't even vote when they was talking about like corporations or people. But I support you, and I send you out all good blessings, good vibrations for you to be well and be safe on the campaign trail. And whatever I can do, I'm going to play this. This plays on Monday. Today's
Okay.
supposed to be Monday, y'all, but it's I had to pre-record this because girlfriend, her time is limited. So this will play on Monday, October 23rd, which should be today. And then it'll play again the following Friday. But Beth told me that maybe I can play it the week of November 1st so that we can kind of let them know again that it's time to go do your early voting. Would you like that?
Yes.
I can play it again then.
Yeah.
See,
Early voting is key.
as many times as I want to. See, this is my show.
Because you're the queen.
But good luck. God's blessing, and I wish you all the very best. And if you need me to come out if you're having a rally in Louisville and you want me to be there, let me know. Tell Beth, send Janice an email and tell them this is where we're going to be, and I'll show up.
Thank you.
Okay.
I
Is there
appreciate
anything else you want to impart to the crowd before you leave? And I know you got a busy schedule. This is as close to a nap as you're going to get.
Oh, here's what I say to everyone I meet, whether I am on the Mississippi River in that part of the state or the other part. Find somebody to love. Every day you can find joy and love. Don't wait until you retire. Don't wait until you lose 20 pounds. Don't wait.
Right.
The only life you have is right now.
Right.
So love the people that come into your life, and then go vote.
And then go vote and take them with you.
Take them with you.
Good luck, my dear.
Okay.
Have a fabulous time on the campaign trail. I will see you somewhere in the community within the next 3 weeks, but you will have 2 full weeks of this conversation on Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. It's on Facebook, Jantastic Productions. It's on YouTube, Jantastic Productions. It's on LinkedIn, Jantastic Productions, okay?
I like that, Jantastic.
Hey, I have to be a little bit like you. So take care. God bless you. Have a fabulous, Jantastic day.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being my guest, Pam.
It's my pleasure.
All right, dog. All right. Now, I'm taking Colonel Pam off, but I'm going to give you another
As a
dose.
27-year military veteran, I fought so that all people could have freedoms, not just the ones I liked. As an ordained minister, we preach, we teach all the time that God's decisions are perfect and that we're to go out and do what he asked us to do. Take care of the least of these, love above all, do the work for the people that need it. And now we're saying he's imperfect because we got to fix it. We've got to insert our opinion on top of God's design. Don't tell me it's about irreparable harm, because you're not doing anything for the children that are hungry. You're not doing anything for the children that are in foster care being abused. You're not doing what needs to be done for the little black kids that are experiencing racism every day. It is not for irreparable harm. It's because they are not like you. It goes for the juggler to kill, annihilate, and make sure that a whole group of people, who, by the way, is a small percentage, have no rights. Now, here's the good news. Go ahead and vote the way you like to vote, but if you don't stand for them, I promise you, they'll come for you. We have no right to interfere in the parental rights. If you were really, really concerned about children, I could give you 100 other things you could do to make sure that every kid in Kentucky thrives. Let's try getting the kids off the street that are homeless and sleeping with snow as a blanket. I was born at night, but not last night. This is not about what you say it is. And if you want to be honest, just get ready for the invasion in your life. Because as I recall, a couple of months ago, you were saying the government can't tell me to wear a cloth mask to prevent a global pandemic. And now you're saying the government can tell a mother and a father what to do with their kid, and they don't have any right to opt out. Stop it.
Colonel Pam Stevenson, our next Attorney General in Kentucky. Kudos. Kudos. You know, she's strong. She's small but mighty. You know, I like small but mighty because we kind of run in the same vein. You know what I mean? But I am just very honored that that's the second time she's been on Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. But it was important to me to share her viewpoint with you. If you've never been to a rally, you've never heard her speak, you've never met her, you know, and Louisvillians we're very cliquish. And you know how we are. You see, if you don't know her, somebody has to introduce you to her that knows her. You know, that's how you figure, well, I know her with Janice Carter Miller, you know. She told me who she was, you know, and, you know, Janice is pretty all right. She got a pretty good head on her shoulders. And, you know, I got good common sense, you know, but when you know that you need somebody in your corner to fight for you, you know, because Kentucky's never had a black AG, you know, she'll be the first, but she won't be the last. But we have to make sure she's the first. Because not only will she be a good black AG, she'll be just an excellent AG for the state. Because you have to be an AG for everybody. When you take offices like that, I don't care what they are, you have to represent all the people. Represent all the people all the time. I tried to be a politician. I found that wasn't my cup of tea. And they told me they thought, you know, they said, well, Janice Carter, she just sings. What she know about politics? I said, y'all don't know what I know. Where I've been, what I've seen. Don't know my politics, don't know my religion. Don't know anything about me other than I sing. But there's far more to me than that. And one of those things is to introduce to you people that you need to know that got it going on. Because, you know, Louisville love folks that got it going on. They want to know somebody that's somebody to know. Colonel Pam Stevenson is somebody to know for your benefit. Go vote. Take your family to vote. Vote early. November 2nd, that starts on a Thursday, if I remember. I wrote it down. November 2nd is a Thursday. November 3rd is a Friday. November 4th is that Saturday. This Saturday, I think, is 66. Is that right, Pam? Shake your head. Okay. Those are wonderful days to go vote. Saturday, especially if you work during the week and don't want to worry about whether you can get your vote in or get off work in time to go vote on that one day. You've got 3 days during the week and a Saturday. And if we don't use these days and turn out, they want to take early voting away from us. You know, they keep taking and taking and taking. We take 2 steps forward and they try to pull us back 3. Ain't happening. Come on. Everybody get out, get ready. It's time. The time is now. You see the signs in the yards. You see the signs in the windows. You see the ads coming on TV. Go to pamforag.com because she needs to run that commercial. All she really needs to do is just run that clip that I just played so folks would know. So sister got it going on, and she's no joke. She's not playing. And she can stand up for what's right. She can help us save our democracy. she can help us feel freer and better about living in Kentucky, because living in Kentucky ain't an easy thing to say. And I moved back home from Las Vegas. Not that I necessarily want to say I live in Las Vegas anymore, because I'm not trying to stay up all night like I was when I was young. But to come back and live in a red state, it's a little different. It's a little different, but we have to just keep fighting and pushing for things to get better where we are. And Colonel Pam Stevenson is a step in the right direction. Go vote. It's dinner time. Bon appetit. This will play again on Friday and probably again the week of November 1st, just to remind you to go do early voting starting on November 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And election day is November 7th. Have a good evening. Have a jantastic. Okay. Now, I think I played Colonel Pam's speech on the floor at the state house in Kentucky. But remember, early voting is next Thursday, November 2nd, November 3rd, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, the 4th of November. Only 3 days. And they need you to vote. They need to see a really good turnout on those days because they really want to take them away from you. So we only have one day to vote, a day that everybody works during the week, and then you're going to have long lines. So if you're off, there are, I think, 10 different locations where you can go vote next Thursday, next Friday, next Saturday. That's early voting. All you have to do is Google, where can I vote early? And find someplace close to where you are. Once again, I thank Colonel Pam. She needs our support. And that number, her website, or where you can get in touch and make a donation, if it's $10, if it's $5, help her campaign, help her get these ads on TV. They are not cheap. They cost money. They cost money. So on that note, as we still stand without a Speaker of the House, that's ridiculous. Somebody put on Facebook today a picture of all the representatives, I guess on the right, that are sitting in this House of Representatives up in DC. They all had on clown suits because they all look like clowns. They just it's a big circus. But we want to pray for the people over in Israel and in Gaza, the Palestinians. I think people are starting to choose sides. I think, I choose peace. That's the side that I choose. I just pray that this world comes together, that we find a way to, like Rodney King said, can we all just get along? It seemed it was cliche then, but it's really very true now. Always has been, really. So on that note, guess who's coming to dinner? Bon appetit. Bon appetit. It's dinner time. Guess who's coming to dinner? This will play again for the next Monday. That'll be Monday the 30th. And then it will play again on the following Monday. Maybe. I may mix it up and do a little bit of Colonel Pam the day before Election Day. But for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be pushing her visibility on Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, because I think it's very important that we know who she is, and it's very important that we go and we vote for her. I can't tell you who to vote for, but your choices are limited. Duh. Okay, on that note, good night. See you soon. I'm going to play. I think if I can find it, I really want to play the rant one more time. Let's see. Hold on. Okay. No, I'm just going to put that up there. Okay, here we go. See you later.